My name, my name is Rosalind Abigail Chirenati, and I thank you for signing up to join us for the second part of career development in hospitality and tourism. We had an awesome time last week with our panels who gave us some nuggets on how to progress in life. How the conversation went, we felt, there is a need for us to convey for a second time to bring you another insight as to how you can continue doing this because we know a lot of hands were up that day and we couldn't have answered all your questions because of time wise. And so we thank you for joining us today. We have our panel here, and it's my humble to welcome Miss Amanda Hura, who was here with us last week. If you were here, you remember her, and they're going to share a bit about themselves. We also have someone who is very new to the group, Kwejo Benton William, who is a senior communication expert for UNWTO. We also have Dr. Kobe Mensah from University of Ghana, who is passionate about tourism and hospitality and has done a lot of things for his hospitality and tourism students. We also have Eugene Vigiro. Eugene was here last week with us. He is the food and beverage assistant manager at Kempinski. And we have Miss Daphne for hospitality amplified. She was here with us last week. One of our panels couldn't join us because he had an emergency just in the afternoon of this program, and he couldn't join us. You might have seen him on the flyer, which is the GM of Labadi Beach Hotel, and so we apologize for that. Thank you so much, guys, and my panel members, I'm very excited to have you here. Kojo, you would have to be on video for us, the comments, and you as well, so we can hear you speak. Thank you so much. And we're going to start this way. I'm going to call on Dr. Kobe Mensah because from him being a lecturer, hospitality, and now tourism and now hospitality as well at the University of Ghana, as to how he thinks his students can progress with an area of study like that after school and what they are currently doing to help the students.
All right. Thank you so much, Rosalind, for having me. I'm honored to share the podium with you, Kojo. Kojo, good to see you. I don't know whether you're still in Cote d'Ivoire or you're back. I was.
No, I'm in Lubumbashi.
Still in Cote d'Ivoire. Yes. You're still out.
No, I moved to DRC yesterday. So.
Okay. Yeah. I was told by a bird that you are out still. So. All right. So yes, it's great to be here, and everybody, hello. And as Rosalind said, at the business school, at the University of Ghana Business School, obviously the dominant programs, as you can imagine, typically finance, typically accounting, typically marketing, public administration. Tourism and hospitality has never been part of the conversation at the business school. Now, on my resumption at the University of Ghana Business School, obviously I took on tourism marketing as one of my areas of teaching, and thankfully we've done quite a lot. We decided to ensure that we could take on the marketing bit, of the tourism and hospitality. So our, sister universities, University of Cape Coast and KNUST, they do the hardcore tourism, but we decided to niche to look at how do we market, that particular area. And another thing that we thought about is because typically the young people in this side of the university, especially at the business school, aren't traditionally excited about tourism or hospitality. Can we do something to sort of get them interested in the field? So we decided to bring in the dimension of technology to make sure that we could actually get a student excited. So we started doing what we call virtual tourism. In fact, we were the first to have started virtual tourism way back in 2014. And I'm sure, Rosalind, you attended one of our sessions at the time. We decided to put Ghana on the social path, social media path. My students created quite a lot of virtual tourism content using Facebook's social media, Twitter, for example. We also applied what we call artificial intelligence in the AI in the field, and a lot of students actually created AI embedded content. And since then, the interest has been growing over the years. For the past 8 years, we've been on that particular tangent, and that's what resulted in my addition to the British Council's Innovative African Universities program, which we're going to intensify. So we to answer the question, Rosalind, we decided that we would actually take a niche, which is the marketing bit of tourism, and then also add the technology bit so that the students would be excited. Now, going forward, a lot of them have created their own DMOs, which is destination marketing organizations, and they've been marketing these, on their platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, which we intend to see quite a lot of. But some have gone on to win awards by creating, platforms for dance, for example, so that people can actually show their creative competences in that area, to promote dance tourism, for example, in Ghana. Now, others have gone on to create, apps, applications in hospitality, how to get their feedback, that is tourist feedback immediately, and use that data to sort of make, to have a business intelligence and to make business decisions. That project had actually gone on to win the best, hospitality and tourism software in Africa, and is actually scheduled to participate in the next program in Rwanda. Now, the current project that we're doing is called, it's called Abakosem. Abakosem is purely, what do you call, virtual tourism, content, where very soon you're going to see some hotels, and depending on those who actually subscribe, having virtual tourism in their premises. Of course, I'll be limited in sharing ideas because it's a project that my students are actually undertaking, so I don't have to actually give a lot out. But you're going to see quite a lot of, what do you call area, what do you call innovation in that sense, and most of these young people have created businesses out of that. So, to answer it, I think that you have to map the area to progress. You want to map the area and look at your competencies, such as what we have done. We realize that we can't compete with KNUST with hardcore tourism, agro-tourism, etc. We can't compete with KNUST. We can't compete with UCC on, let's say, tour guiding and all those things. We can't. Even in UG, you have the what do you call, the geography department, and then you have the what do you call, the archaeology department, and of course you have the African studies, who are also in diverse sections of tourism and hospitality. So we decided that our strength is in business, our strength is in management, and so we have to pitch to make sure that as we niche, we can do a better job at it. And that's why we concentrate on tourism marketing. And it's been amazingly fantastic so far. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for that overview, and thank you for the beautiful work you're doing for your students. And I'm very happy to hear about the software. And I know that is what the tourism, the one I normally come to judge your projects have been bringing, and they come out with different projects to set the students on success after school. And so I know they're doing a great thing over there. So now we know the angle what education side is doing, especially when it comes to University of Ghana. And I will come back to Dr. Kobe again to know more about how do we come together as industry players and on the education side to make sure we prepare our students to be ready for the job market. We'll come to that. Please, I have lost my hosting access, so please be on mute for me as I'm not able to do that. Nana Kwajo, if you can please put yourself on mute, I'll be very happy. And Sylvia, if you can hear me, try give me back the hosting access. Thank you. So Kojo is a product of KNUST. I've known Kojo for a while. He studied tourism, and after studying tourism, he worked at GTA for a bit, for a while actually. And I have kind of followed Kojo for a while as somebody who like graduated from tourism in KNUST, coming to GTA, how he worked so hard. At a point, he went into like I think making videos, and he has been consistent in tourism. And today he happens to be the senior communication expert for UNWTO. And if you don't know UNWTO and you're a student or somebody working in hospitality here, you probably have to beat yourself right now. So United Nations Tourism, World Tourism Organization, he happens to be the expert. So I'd like to find out from him, what motivated you, Kojo, when you graduated with your tourism certificate? Did you even know what you wanted to do or where you wanted to go? And how has the journey been so far of you developing your career in this short span?
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Rosalie. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, and greetings to everyone on the call. Kobe, good evening once again. So I've been shuttling between Cote d'Ivoire and Lumumbashi in the DRC. So yeah, internet's a bit troubling, but that's fine. Thanks again. So about my own journey, I think what I can say is the fact that yes, I'd always liked to travel, and in the university was part of the things that we did. And also you realize that we did occasionally do, trips to Dakar and, out of Kumasi to Cape Coast, etc. So that inner motivation of what I like to do with respect to travel was there. But then again, I was in tech, I was caught up in a lot of editorial stuff, writing articles, PCs and all of that. So I had an interest in the media space as well. And so when I had the chance to work with a tourism authority, the Ghana Tourism Board at the time, it allowed me space and time to understand how things work with respect to the public space and public administration with tourism. So then you get to understand that. And then I did some few works with other private tourism companies, both in Ghana and in Cote d'Ivoire. So we were doing a lot of mines business even at the time. And so I had the thing about traveling, organizing events, and then writing. So I contributed to a number of newspapers and journals, and that's been my own motivation. So typically, as Kobe said about, and again, I don't think that now is the case when people look at core tourism and they take, for example, KNUST and UCC as seen as a tourism thing. We don't have something like that now, because then you have to adapt, and innovation is the way that you can go and change how you do things. So in my specific case was to look at a media, and I was writing for a long time. And then so when I went to the tourism board and I was working with the PR department, I was still blogging and writing for a number of outlets in Africa. And so eventually, when I decided to look at the space of media into tourism, it created that opportunity for me to move on. So that's my own personal journey, and I think that I was much more looking into how communication will be a key instrument for tourism. And when we went into, myself and my partners, when we at Voyage Afrique, when we decided to set up that, there was nothing in the region, I mean, on the continent, that, you know, deals specifically with tourism, arts, and culture. You know, you had, you know, different things, but you didn't have anything that, you know, constantly looked at tourism, you know, as a sector. So that's been my own journey, and I support Dr. Kobe Mensah 100% when he says that you know, you have to adapt to new things. So the days when you're talking about people going to do tourism at UCC, at Tech, I mean, with all due respect, that, you know, those days are gone. And the fact that people don't have, if you look at tourism, if you look at the youth and what people are choosing now, you probably won't get, people like to travel. But again, if you look at the job schedule now, it's motivation. You won't get no one going in for it. I mean, that's the truth at this point in time, specifically for some countries. You know, I mean, you have Ghana, but if you go to East Africa, if you go to Southern Africa, it's a big economy. So when you have a big economy, it's the whole ecosystem changes, you know, by itself. So if you find someone working in I think
Okay, so I think we having a connection problem from a connection challenge from Kojo. So whilst Kojo, I don't know if you can hear me, but when your connection get better, we'll bring you to continue that. We will move. Kojo, you're back. I can see that you're back. So you can go ahead and continue.
yes, I think I'm having internet issues. That's why I told you I'm in Lubumbashi, and internet is a bit of a problem here. But yeah, so that's what I can say. You know, to add to what Kobe said, that we have to improve on what tourism can do for people, and not just looking at it at, because if you take Ghana and look at how tourism is perceived and the job market, people don't find it attractive or something that they can build on as a job, or, you know, something worthy of their time. So that's what I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. But my next question to you is, because I know that you have limited time as well here. Uh, when as now, maybe when you were a student, you probably didn't see, but as now, what are some of the job prospects out there in tourism that you can throw light on for people who are probably studying tourism or in tourism right now to look at that they have not probably been thinking about?
You know, I picked up a quote from Kwachi Donko. He's, you know, ATP CEO, and he says, tourism is everything, everything is. Now, if you look at the space, and like I explained earlier, if you look at it as an industry in different countries, you see how important tourism is to their economies. So that also allows people to be able to fit into, you know, a certain segment of it. But having said that, I'm also of the school of thought that you know, these days innovation is driving everything, it's changing everything. And so if you think about the fact that you know there are things like airport drop, there are services, and you know, services is the main deal now. You have the opportunity to put up something that, you know, people need. I mean, needs of not just travelers. You have business events, you have sports tourism, you have cultural tourism, you have it. I mean, the spectrum is endless. Okay, so if you look at that side, you know, specific service that you can add to it, you can be entrepreneur and build something out of it, and not just. I think my internet is giving me a problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Kojo.
I think he can hear us. We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. It's down there in DRC. So I was explaining that if we have to sit to wait for the opportunities, it may never come. So in my own opinion, I think that you also research in the tourism sector and some of the needs that can help change the things, it can create opportunity. We went into media full-fledged, with my partners. And now, if you look at travel and tourism media on the continent, it's something that we've been doing. And we are proud to say that we are leading, not just being in Ghana, but on the continent. And the things that we are writing, the things that we are producing, and all the things we are doing, it's something that is not just giving us a job, but it's giving us a chance to be able to even build, build on and look at other opportunity that exists in the tourism sector. So what I would like to end, by saying is the fact that I think if we premise our thing on innovation and digitalization now, we're more likely to spot opportunities that we can use, and also not just opportunity as just opportunity, but something that it's economically viable. Because in my own experience, you go in some of the ventures and you realize that, yeah, it's good for the ticks and for the praises, but if you look at the numbers, it doesn't really add up. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, if you're here and you are in the tourism industry, I feel like it has enormous opportunities that you shouldn't lose like your focus. Like he said something like research. Sometimes you just have to research, and now you have Google at in your hand. You have the phone, and you can just check what are the career prospects in tourism, and you have tall list of things. So I think this goes to like our students, especially if you're here studying tourism and you are thinking like, oh, maybe I'm going to be a tour guide or it's a travel planner, and that's where it ends in your mind. Then I feel you are lost, and you should take on the work of doing your own research and reaching out to people like him, Dr. Kobe, and even us to also direct you in the right path. So we'll shift our conversation to go back into the hospitality industry, where last week we really went deep into it, but we felt like we also left a gap to ask our panelists, like if I'm in the job and I'm stuck in one role, what are the things I need to do to level up? And we can let Amanda speak, and then Daphne will also share in.
Okay, so good evening, everybody. What I would say is speak to your resource person, the HR manager or your manager, and see if you can do cross-training. Now, cross-training sort of takes you in the different departments just to have a feel of what it's like. And if you really like it after that, then if there's any vacancies going in that department, you already have that kind of, you have the experience. So you go for it and apply for the job. But cross-training is the key, I would say. Thank you.
Cross-training is the key. Speak to your HR and find out the opportunities that exist and do cross-training. And basically what it is you pick up different skills in different departments within the establishment that you are. And so we go on to Amanda. Daphne. Sorry.
Thank you. So I'm excited that we started a conversation with technology and innovation. And I want to say something. These days, we look at the industry and, the condition, the climate is a little bleak. COVID is still so much a concern. Lots of people are unsure. There's so much uncertainty on whether or not you're going to get opportunities to grow, get promotions, etc. Whenever there's a situation like that, we have to take it up to ourselves to find other areas of interest. I did mention last time that in 2008, 2009, when the recession happened, I was one of those who lost their jobs. I was an assistant general manager, but I pivoted into technology. And so for me, it helped me understand what it requires to open a hotel from the ground up when construction is happening. It helped me understand how to source technology. What kind of technologies do you need based on the type of hotel you want to put up? It helped me understand project management. It helped me understand how to create a restaurant concept. And so I think that by now our students realize that there is so much to the industry that meets the imagination. There is mice that we haven't even touched on. So be very curious. My advice to industry hopefuls or starters or folks that are in there and are unsure which direction to go, my advice will be to stay curious, stay hungry about, knowing, because once you become complacent, you're closing all the doors on yourself and you're not allowing yourself to grow. So stay curious, be open-minded, and you will be journeyed in your career to paths that you probably never imagined if you're open to it.
Be open, be curious, and stay focused. And I mean, don't be narrow thinker. There's so many opportunities out there. I love that. I don't know if Eugene, you are here, but if you're here, if I can see you or in the video, that would be great. So I could ask you a question. But whilst I'm waiting on Eugene, I would like to find out how can one, what should one do if I find myself in a hotel? What can I do to prepare myself to be a general manager? If I'm aiming to be a general manager of a hotel one day or a restaurant, how do I prepare myself? Amanda. You muted.
Oh, sorry, wait, I thought you said Eugene, so I wasn't sure if, okay.
Waiting for Eugene. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so it's Eugene is picking it up.
No, whilst I'm waiting for him, that's
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay, I'm sorry. How do you prepare yourself to be a general manager? Simply, again, getting to know your hotel. You need to know the product inside out. When I say the product, you need to know your room division, you need to know F&B, food and beverage, you need to know, every single nook and cranny in the hotel. And the fastest way that I know is when you are towards the food and beverage section. As in, you've started from food and beverage manager and so on. And that's the fastest way that I know that can lead you into either hotel management or general management.
Okay.
So
through the food and beverage direction, I would like to hear from Daphne's point
Daphne
of
as
view
well, yeah.
to see how you can become a general manager. And I know, Daphne, you were a general manager before you turned 30 or 31, I think.
My goal was to be a GM by 30, and I did that at 29. So I'm very proud of that. And the way I got there was because, again, I've always been someone who's interested in learning. I did share last week that I had, some general managers who thought they were doing me a disservice by loading me with so much work to maybe overwhelm me, but I thrive under pressure. If you're someone who cannot handle so many things at once, you might have to search yourself to find out if that really is where you want to go, because you are required to be a multifaceted person. You have to be a fast thinker. You have to, understand how to work with people and how to deal with people, not just people below you, but people above you as well. Because most of hotels that I've worked for, even though they're big brand names, they're also franchised hotels, which means there is the brand to deal with. There's the owners that own the hotel to deal with. They might have multiple brands in their portfolio that you have to learn and know about. You have to learn how to communicate with people above you and people below you. And so you have to have the know-how, you have to be an effective communicator, you have to be a very patient human being. You have to understand also that there's not a one-size-fit-all customer issue or customer concern resolution opportunity. You're supposed to be diverse in your thinking. All your issues cannot be resolved one way. So you need to also be a creative person, so that when you've pulled out everything in your pocket, what's next? Because our industry is very, very exciting. You can't have the same day in a whole week. Every day will be different. Your encounters will be different. We are all different people. And when you're dealing with people, you would have different aspects of things to deal with. So you have to be patient, you have to be creative, you have to be open-minded, effective communicator, think about how to deal with people above you and below you, and you'll be okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You have to be creative. You have to be sharp in mind. And I think you have to be ready to learn as well, because the journey to GM, I don't think it's a joke. We have a question here. She's put that it twice, making me sure that I need to ask you guys this question. She's saying, can one be an air hostess with a hospitality degree? You're mute.
Absolutely, why not? I think that if you want to be a flight attendant or an air hostess, again, you may have the degree, but there are specific things that you have to learn about being an air hostess. So you have to find out what those requirements are. Now, I know those uniforms look cute, but they might not be comfortable. I know those air hostess look amazing, but remember, they're going to be on their feet for a long time. So you have to search yourself. Is this really where you want to go, and prepare yourself for it? Ask questions, reach out to people who have done it, have them become your mentor. Let them show you the ins and outs of it, the pros and cons of being an air hostess. I would tell you something, as a woman traveler, that to be on the road for a long time sometimes can be lonely, can be scary. There's safety factors. You're traveling different cities. You're sleeping in hotels in different countries that you probably are not familiar with. The food might not be something that you enjoy. But again, it comes down to being open-minded, being curious, and ask questions, lots of questions before you get into it. But yes, you can.
Beautiful. Ask questions. And yes, you can use your hospitality degree to be a flight attendant. I've actually been a witness to one of them where she's not from Ghana, but she studied in a school that I represent in Switzerland. She did hospitality, and she got into Emirates. And basically, let me tell you how her journey was. She went and did internship with Emirates while she was in school, and she loved the role. She was like, I really want to be an air hostess when I finished school. And she engaged them through networking. So another thing that is very important is the people you are meeting on your way, even the people here right now, are your gateway to something greater. So you have to be consistent with when you meet people. So she kept in touch, and she's like one of the top first class flight attendants right now. And then I would also share one where a student studied hospitality, and it's the same Emirates, and she actually studied hospitality with design and went to Emirates. And basically what she does is all the VIP lounges of Emirates you see around the world, when they have a location, they fly this girl in, she visualizes the space and then do everything on the computer and show it to them that this is the product I think we need to have. And I think that is a fantastic idea. Like, you might think she did hospitality, so how is she doing this? Hospitality is more than hotel, it's more than the restaurants you're thinking about. And so you need to think broadly and be open to also ask questions. When it comes
Roslyn, may I add something to what you said? You talked about connecting and having a network. A lot of the students I want to encourage to create a LinkedIn profile is free. Areas of your interest, find people that are in those areas and connect with them, engage and ask for, continuous conversations or interactions outside of LinkedIn if possible. But I will urge every student here to create a profile on LinkedIn, find people who you're interested in potentially working with, companies you want to work for, engage people, ask questions, create that network.
You weren't on mute, I think.
I don't know what happened. I was on mute. I don't know
Please
what
go
happened.
ahead.
Where did I stop at? I can't remember.
Create the network.
Yes, create that network of where you want to belong after you're done with school. Do that before school is out. have those conversations and then request to have sidebars so you can get more from those people. And then, it'll put you where you need to be. But networking is great. And LinkedIn is an awesome place where employers and HR folks look for people to hire as well from there. I heard Jeremy Nichols. I don't know if you know Jeremy Nichols on LinkedIn. Rosa, you might know him. But most recruiters are looking up your profile so that they could potentially approach you and hire you. So if you're not there, they won't find you. So get on there.
I'm so excited, like we accidentally landed in networking. And I know Amanda is burning to share something on networking. So we'd like to hear her take on that.
For me, I think networking, yes, is well and good. But for me, when I started, I was one little shy little girl. So being in the hospitality industry was good because that's what I studied. But my difficulty was to approach people and talk and network. But then after a while, I had a really great manager who forced me into it. So what she did was she looked at networking programs and events and so on, and she would sign me up for it. And I would be like, oh, am I going with somebody? She was, no, you're going by yourself. So what I did was, and I learned this by myself, for those that the shy ones out there, you go into this room with lots of people, and then you start scouting around to see who looks like you, because you just want to be able to fit in. So I look at everybody's in groups. So then, I'll scout and look at the person that looks like a black, dark-skinned person. And then I'll sort of get into it and, start having some kind of conversation. And then they move. And then I'm stuck in the middle thinking, okay, where do I go now? Because I'm so shy, I don't even know what to do. But then once you get in and you start going into it and talking to people, you sort of, something just comes off and you all of a sudden you fit in so nicely. And then you want to go. So you go one after the other, one network and the other networking groups and the other. And right now it's perfect. I'm only saying that because networking is so beneficial, but so many of us haven't got that. We haven't got that. What's the word I'm looking for? Confidence to sort of, go into people and talk and say, oh, Mom, this is what I do and so on and so forth. So for those that are really shy and don't see how they're going to do it, just go in there, scout around like I did, look at the people that look quite close, close to you, and then start that way. And by the time you realize you've made, you've got your networking going through. So that's my experience coming out of the shy zone into networking.
Beautiful. And I will go to Dr. Dr. Kobe Mensah to listen to his view on the networking for everybody, and then come to Eugene as well.
All right. Thank you, Rosalind. I think that there is something about, I may be wrong, but obviously, as you know, I've lived abroad for almost 18 years. Now, if I compare how people in Europe, especially in Britain, for example, network and the way we do, I think that we have quite a long way to go. Most people, when they go to events in Ghana, they want to stick with the one they went with, i.e. the one they didn't know. In England, you pick up your coffee or whatever, and oh, hello, how are you? My name is so I'm from this company. And in Ghana, you see those who came, the same set of people who came, they're in the corner and they're having their conversation. And when you go there and say, oh, hello, how are you? They will just say, I'm fine. That's it. And they will be standing there watching you. I think it's really serious issue. And so it's not making most of our young people sort of explore, like, Amanda was saying, and to come out of the shy zone. Most people aren't asking questions. Most people aren't being curious. Most people aren't being self-tutoring. They're not doing self-tutoring. So many other things. So I think that we need to find a way of having these things ingrained in people by organizing networking events. I mean, we should be deliberate about that, especially those of you who have been in industry and perhaps you're doing quite other things. If you have, organizations that can deliberately organize networking events, bringing people, both supply side and the demand side together, and getting people get along. I think that, and then inviting me to bring my student, for example, I think that these will be, some fantastic things to do. Maybe organizing a ball, for example, dinner dance, for example. We need to get the space exciting, but we're not doing it. For some reason, it looks like everybody is in their corner and nobody tends to really care about how to develop the young ones, the students, and for me, it's worrying. So maybe what I can say is that there must be a deliberate attempt to get people networking, especially if not for industry players, for my student. I mean, if I hear you organize, a networking event for people in hospitality and tourism, and you ask me whether my students are interested, certainly I bring them along, and when they come along, obviously you guys have to get them. Remember, a lot of them too are from homes that aren't, that are exposed, sorry to say. They're from, rural areas. It's not their fault that they're not used to that, I mean, for those who are already working and are not doing it, I can understand. But for my students, most of them it's not their fault. It's just because of the backgrounds they're coming from. So I think that we have to be deliberate, to creating and networking platforms so that people can get along and know the industry better, get some speakers around, get some people, just like you're doing now. I mean, having brought us together. And when things happened, in terms of COVID receding, maybe we can then have physical networking events so that I can benefit my student more. And that's what I would like to say.
Beautiful, beautiful. And yeah, we'll think about that. I see all my panel members smiling because I'm sure each of them know how important network have helped them throughout their career. Listen, you can have all the skills, the degrees in the world, but your network is what will take you up.
Yeah, and I think, Rosalind, it's because of network that my student got to your school, isn't it?
Exactly, exactly. So you stay in touch. You don't just meet somebody and you leave it out there. And it's as simple as even being in a WhatsApp group. When you are in a WhatsApp group, somebody has posted something nice there, and you are not commenting, you are not reacting to it. But do you know what happens? Somebody is looking at how you are, even your thought process on issues that are being posted on platforms. And Daphne shared your LinkedIn. Some of you don't even have CV. So I'm sure you don't even know about LinkedIn. And if you don't, then I'm sorry. I got a job in Budapest. I didn't take it, but I turned it down. And they are what we call headhunters on LinkedIn. And they contacted me, offering me a job to relocate me from Ghana to stay in Budapest. I mean, I didn't go searching for the job. And I've had more than 4 opportunities through LinkedIn. So don't joke with what she's saying. Like, LinkedIn is powerful, but it's just like your CV, right? LinkedIn is just like your CV that you're uploading on that platform. So if you don't have a CV, then I'm sorry. And don't go and post that picture where you are having fun at the beach on LinkedIn. If you go check my name on LinkedIn, you see how well I'm dressed, how well Amanda is dressed there, how well Daphne, everybody here is dressed there. So please do your work and prepare yourself before you go and upload your files on LinkedIn. Now, Eugene, my question to you is, how has networking helped you in your journey in hospitality?
Thank you very much, Rosa. Sorry, I stepped out a little. Okay, so networking has really helped me to get to where I am. In fact, my current job was through network on LinkedIn. Just as you are saying, LinkedIn helps a lot, yes. What I did to get here with the networking was like, I mean, I'm referring to my current job. I saw the ad, like the advert for the position. So what I did was I realized the GM was connected to me on LinkedIn. So it was just a matter of inboxing him and then starting the conversation that, oh, I'm currently available. I needed something to do to get myself busy. And the next thing I noticed was, okay, send your details to this person. And that was how it started. And apart from that, all the places I've worked, it's been through networking and it has really helped me. I would say that, like we have students on here today, they should really take the networking aspect of the industry very serious. I overheard the prof saying that in Ghana, we don't like to network. Yes, we don't like to network because I've had like couple of events where hoteliers basically were just seated throughout the event and they were so glued to the people they came with, like he said, just sat in one corner with the friends that you enter the venue or the event space with, and then they sat there till almost the whole time during the event. It's not good. Here we are saying hotel people, I mean, we want to network, but hotel people hardly network. We hardly network. There's been an event where I'm sure Sylvia attended. It was Hoteliers Gala Dinner held at Labadi Beach Hotel, I think about 3 years ago or so. The event was meant for about 300 people. At the end of the day, we had just about 80, 90 people turning up. And I think if we are encouraging the students or the upcoming hotel people or aspiring hoteliers to learn how to network, I think we should start the whole art of networking ourselves. We hardly network. Yes, we hardly network. We always want to be in our own corner where we feel we are the best in what we do. Okay. In networking, you get to meet people who also share their experience with regards to what they've been doing in their various hotels or wherever they find themselves. So it shouldn't be just you sitting or standing at one corner sipping on your tea or coffee all the time instead of trying to mingle and share like thoughts with people, trying to make new friends, connect with new people. Just as been said already, I think hotel people or hospitality people should try and network. Whenever there is an event, try and go. Don't just go. Try to make one or two friends. Make new friends. New friends doesn't mean you are always sitting in their house or you want to go to their house. I mean, connect professionally. Yeah. It has really helped me. It brought me this far. I don't take networking lightly at all. Whenever I find myself and I find people, I find the opportunity, I want to sell myself so that people will know what I do or what I intend doing. Okay. I think networking is very, very important with regards to the industry we find ourselves.
Beautiful. I love the story he shared about how he got his job, his current job actually. He saw the post on LinkedIn, he reached out to the GM, and today he's doing that work. We have Professor Frimpong raised his hand, and I would like to give him the opportunity to ask us a question or make an input if that's what he's. Prof, you can go ahead, and if you can see your face, that'll be better.
Okay, hello, good evening, lovely people. Sorry, the location I have to apologize for the video session. I'm Isaac Frempong, the president for Ghana Association of Tourism and Hospitality Students. I think really motivate our students. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, please, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Thank you. When I first want to ask concerning networking and how we can boost confidence level in our students. Tourism is a lucrative business or industry that we need to encourage our people, especially our students. Talking of confidence, Mr. Kobe Mensah made mention of organizing summits like this, entrepreneurship summit and career development programs like this to educate our students on the required and then what is need to be done. What we are doing as hospitality and tourism students is that we think we should go beyond the lecture theater. One question that keeps bothering us, and I keep motivating my students, has to do with after we are done with the 4 years, 1 year service, making 5 years, you get to the industry and our industry expert will just tell you your 4-year or your university degree does not make you employable. And I keep wondering, why are they saying so? It means that there are certain criteria, requirements that the industry is expecting from the student that we are not having it. So building up our career, I think we should go beyond the lecture theater, organize networking projects like this. And if we are doing this to help our students, talking of location specific, how do we intend get experts like you on board? Especially, I'm talking for Ghanaian students, hospitality and tourism. We are embarking on education and the launching is on 29. We need experts to motivate our students. Per the recent report from our research team, about 70% of tourism and hospitality students do divert after their 4-year journey or studies. Why is this so? Is it that the experts or the industry players are not ready to appreciate and expose the benefit in the industry to our people? Or is it that the interest that the students are developing is different from that of the industry players? My question is, how do we as experts in the industry and tourism and hospitality industry get to motivate these students aside the lecture theater? Networking, networking, networking. Creating that synergy is all that we need. But how do we do this?
All right.
My question, the mega one, what is the role of hospitality experts like you, like the Ministry of Tourism, Ghana Tourism Federation, GATOF, the GTA? What are they doing together with academia so that we can together bring out the best in the students, in the young ones, so that tourism can be that lucrative industry we all yearn for? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor or Prof. Rimpon. This was quite full, but it's really good insights. And what I'm shocked right now by your findings in the industry, as to how 70% of the people graduating from tourism and hospitality are diverting to different areas. I mean, that is quite shocking, and I don't know how my panelists are going to help us digest this. I see, okay, I see Eugene is ready. I see Daphne, and I see Amanda also. So we'll go with Amanda. We come to Eugene, and then we come to Daphne, and then we go. I hope I haven't messed up the name. So I meant we go with Daphne, we go with Eugene, and we come with Amanda. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think you said I go first, right? Or did you? Okay, all right. So I find it very interesting that there's a little bit of feedback. Sorry about that. I find it very interesting that, you know, our students are not in hotels shadowing, interning. I spoke to a general manager this week at one of the large properties here in Accra. And she, you know, we talked about my association, the African Association of Women in Tourism and Hospitality. She was interested in knowing more about it. We met at one of these events this past month or so, and we decided to get together to have a chat. And she said, I'm very excited about what you're doing. She's a foreigner. She's only been in the country about a few months now. And she said, what do you need? Because we want to open our doors to people who want to learn. And how do we help? There are internship programs, as we've discussed in past, in so many countries, and there are so many opportunities outside right now to allow us to get hands-on training. You can't sit in a lecture room for years and then be expected to have some experience right off the bat. Every institution in the industry has to have a requirement for internship, and that has to count as part of the graduating credit, right? To encourage these students to take mentorship, coaching, internship seriously, the facilities or the institutions has to give them some type of credit towards graduation and make it a requirement. I'm sure there probably is a requirement for internship before graduation. And if I'm wrong, correct me. I had the opportunity to go to Disney and come back, but everything I did, I kept a journal, and that amounted to a certain number of credits in order for me to get my degree. Is there a system that the institutions can come up with and start communicating with your facilities that offer hospitality services, like your hotels, like, you know, other entities that are in the industry? Is there synergy happening, right? How are we teaching our students to perform, to take pride, to feel as though what they're doing brings value to the country, if we're not preparing them and showing them exactly what will be expected of them when they're done? Lectures is not enough. So let's have synergy with, you know, operators of industry entities, and let's have that synergy in a sense also that we're matching students with facilities. You know, let's match students with facilities based on their interest and give them some type of credit towards that, so that they know that they're not just doing it to have it on paper. It actually shows on their resume that they studied this amount of time, and in this amount of time before graduation, they did an internship, and that counts as work experience before they get out. I think that's one of the ways we can solve this problem. And I think the industry players are ready and willing. There just has to be communication. There has to be synergy. We have to understand that great people in the industry represent a country. What is the identity of our country? How do we want to present ourselves to the world? Ghana is attracting people from all over the world. We can't expect people to come and have students who are not confident in what they do serving them, right? So let's start right. Let's have these conversations and understand that industry experts, hotel professionals, whoever key players there are, want to contribute, they're willing to. Let's just have those conversations.
I so agree with you. And Frimpong, if you said you are the president of these students, and I happen to be invisible in your rooms, your WhatsApp groups. And this events, for instance, I posted it there myself, but I know the number of people you have on all your platforms, but look at the number we have here. And so, like she said, communication between groups is very important. Something like this is happening. You don't know who it is, come post it in your room, reach out to the person and inquire, like, what is going on? You are here. Encourage your people to attend some of these things. We established Hospitality Professionals Network Ghana for you guys, for the industry people who are working. I cannot come and force you to come and join a group like this. I cannot force you to come into partnership like this with me. There has to be a reach out one way or the other. So we all have inputs to make to really grow the industry we all want to see. So I encourage we have that rapport between us where we can work this together, like Daphne said. Eugene, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready. Particular question to me is very interesting because I have the opportunity of meeting some students in one of the technical universities. Okay, I'm mostly with them for like 3 weeks, maybe twice a year or once every year. Now, what I've realized in there is they don't get the opportunity to explore what the industry is about. That's one. Two, I don't know, but I feel, I'm sorry, lecturers and anybody here, I have to say it as it is, okay? I feel the curriculum being used, excuse me to say, I feel it's outdated, okay? Because I asked a simple question quite recently, just about 2 weeks ago, and a student told me they were taught on how to put cutlery on a table by using their thumb to measure it so that it doesn't get to the tip of the table. I'm like, this thing was, I mean, I learned this in 2004. Yes, I learned this in 2004. Now this thing is no longer used in any hotel where you have to measure your thumb to be able to set a cutlery. Okay. Now, the other thing too is, apart from they exploring, the other thing too I noticed is they are scared to even enter hotel premises. They don't have an idea that even as they are not working, they could even go into a hotel, buy just a bottle of water and experience what kind of service is being rendered to them. This I find very, very appalling. Because you talk to a student, have you been to this place before? You'll be like, no, I've never been there before. The only time I get some of them telling me, oh, we've been there before, is maybe their lecturer and see what is being done, buy something and bring back a receipt, which even doesn't really happen. And I also think that the lecturers should have some practical experience. I know some of them have, but most of the time, I think some of them should have the practical experience to be able to tell the students what happens on the field, and also not put into their heads that as soon as you are out of school and you have a degree, you go to the field, you get a managerial work to do. This is what some of them are telling them in the schools, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. I mean, there are HRs on the platform, they will attest to the fact that some of them come out, they don't even know how to even do a common check-in. They don't even know how to receive a call. Some hotels don't even have the time now to now take you through what it is, what their system is. You can only get an opportunity when you're a fresher and there is a new hotel. Those are the places you are able to get this opportunity. Existing hotels that are already running find it very difficult employing somebody who do not have this experience. So I'm begging on behalf of the students, the heads of department on the platform, I know some of you are watching me now, please help them by helping them to explore. Help them to explore, help them, let them go to hotels, let them feel. Last time, one person was asking me, why is La Palme a 4-star hotel and Accra Marriott is a 5-star hotel? La Palme is bigger than Accra Marriott Hotel. So why is it a 5-star? Why is La Palme a 4-star and Accra Marriott is a 5-star hotel? All this, I think they should know. It should be the basic thing they should even know before coming out of school. I sometimes feel sad when I'm talking to them and then the response that are coming, and I'm usually tempted to tell them, moi bon, but you know, what is happening in the industry. Please, let's help them so that when they come out, they're able to settle in properly. So it doesn't look like they're out of school, they don't get anything to do, and then they end up diverting and go to do something else. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eugene. Yeah, I know it is really sad, like hearing some of these things. It's sad, but we all have work to do, and that is why Frimpong was like, how can we bring the academia side and then the industry players together? And I remember I did hospitality. And sorry, I'm picking up on my school. I did hospitality at Gimpar, and for my entire year there, we didn't have a concept lab. So you tell me about a la carte menu, and I'm just reading it from the book. And so you as the student, if you don't take it upon yourself to go into the industry to get experience, then you are lost. You get into the industry with your degree, like from point you are talking about. But if they ask you to even go for a la carte menu is there, go for it. Would you be able to identify it? And when you really don't know it, so it is important we come together. Look at some of this. I know some of the schools are trying their best because I've helped review some of the programs that some of the schools are having. It is important. The practical is everything. Like he rightly said, when it comes to checking, are you teaching them the practical aspect of checking, or you just giving them the theory? If they come on the field, they won't know how to use the system. Get the systems into the school, get the POS and all that into the school. Have mini concept labs for your student. I feel there should be investment, and this come also from those under the government, investments where they have to give it to these schools for them to be able to procure some of these things that we use in hotel establishments to really teach you. We go to, I know we have a lot of hands up. We will go to Amanda, then I can call some of you. Let's be brief because we have just about 15 minutes to end this conversation. Thank you.
Okay, so as Eugene was speaking and Prof was speaking, I was sort of smiling and holding my head. Rightly so. Me moving to Ghana was to literally come and help our students because hospitality is my baby. That's what I've known. Well, 30 years on now, that's what I've known. I started doing, I went in 1992. That's when I started my hospitality journey. So there's a huge gap. Now we're just going to take bits of it. So when it comes to Dr. Frimpong, just rightly so, as Daphne said, you have to be able to do the internship. And then once you do the internship, if you do good and you work well and you go around the departments and you identify where you want to go, you apply for it, the hotel may absorb you and then you stay on, and that's how you build it up. Now, we have to also have the conversation with the hotels that these schools, we have the hospitality schools, 3 to 6 months. We need you to take them on and then do the hospitality training. And then, you know, they can figure out what they want to do in the future. The other thing with the education side of it is, and that's where I cringe sometimes, because I've had 2 separate companies. One well-known hotel here, private business, and then the other, another private business, approached me because they wanted to start a hotel school. So I got the talents in, resource people in from Mauritius to come in and do it. So we did everything, the logistics, everything. They both turned around and they didn't have money to complete the project. So it was abandoned. There's a hotel school, well, not a hotel school, there's an aviation school that I consult. Now she does aviation, everything aviation, and then she adds the hospitality to it. So I consult for her, she's got hospitality students. Now this for the past 5 years, what I did then was speak to the hotels and say, listen, this is what we have. We have these set of students who would be finishing X amount of months or whatever it is, absorb them, and they will do, because we have a conversation with the HR manager, and then those months. So every month I'll go in and I'll check on their performance and see how they do and coach and guide them in that way. Some have gone to Dubai to work, some are doing their own catering businesses and so on and so forth. Then COVID came, obviously, so everything came to a standstill. But the thing that worries me a lot is we're all here as experts to help these students. I am begging the students to take advantage, because there's so many students that have come into my hands that don't know anything. You teach them, they don't do anything about it. I even offer free school, free classes. All you need to pay is you pay for your resource works, like your printing and all of those things. 200 cities, 300 cities. Madam, I don't have money. So they won't come. We will train them and we'll put them into the hotels. Okay, now this is it. You don't have money, 200 cities to pay for, because I need to also get some resource people to come in and, you know, pay little things. They won't do it. Okay, so the next thing is, when we put you into the hotels, your first salary, we will take maybe 40 CDs each for 4 or 5 months, whatever it is. They wouldn't even come anymore. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we can all do so much to help, but if you're not holding the bull by its horn, we can't help you. There are little things that need to be done. Oh, you need to print out your coursework. Madam, I can't do it. Madam, I don't have money. Madam, I couldn't come to work today. Madam, because this. Madam, because this. You take them to the hotels to do the job or to do the work training, they don't go. You know, and so for me, I speak with passion now because they are not helping themselves at all. Free, come and study. No, they won't come, because it's one after the other, one after the other. I literally, 2 years ago, I literally went to, you know, the West Examination Council, the one where the WIEC, where they do their exams and whatnot. We literally stood there with flyers. Come for training, just let's train you and we'll put you into the hotels so you can get some sort of work experience and take you from there. It's not happening. And I do have another partner that I work with, and she recruits for 4 or 5 of the hotels here. She puts them in, but it's exactly the same thing. So I really don't know how much of push that we can do. Maybe, I don't know. I guess that's why we're having the conversation. They need to know exactly what they want to do. They need to know where they're going. They need to want it to take advantage of what is out there. So please, students here on our platforms, on all the groups and chats, when you see these things, please, please, please attend. When you go and have an opportunity to go into the hotels and do your work experience, work hard, because it will take you somewhere. It's not about the money, it's not about anything. So really, all these things pertain to not studying what, and things like the education rights. I'm not sure if I should mention this institution, but maybe not. It's a well-known institution here. So we're doing trainings on some of these various topics, front office, food and beverage, so on. So I go over there and I say, okay, what certifications have you got that we can actually start using instead of City and Girls? What can we do? They turn around and tell me that, oh, we've only just got certificate 1. We haven't written certificate 2. So I'm like, okay, well, so when they finish the 1, what do they do? So we have to sit and wait till the 2 comes, and then we train them, and then, you know, so then during that waiting period, they have no choice than to go into different things. So it's a whole, it's not just here. Prof may also, you know, it's a whole big thing. So we as the experts have to sit and see how best we can look at it. It's not just what we're doing, it's bigger than this. So we need to sit and try and see how best we can help them. But they also need to want it badly as well. That's what I can.
So much agree. I so much agree with you. They also have to be present. I mean, I remember recently, it hasn't been long, like less than a month, and Daphne put a training out there offering this training, fantastic sales training in hospitality. And guess what? No, you see, so we yeah, we can force you when you are not being present. I'm sorry, like I have,
Rosalind,
yes, I'm
can
gonna
I make
call
some
you.
intervention on
Yes,
on those ones?
yeah, I was actually
Yeah.
gonna call you. You are my next person, so you can go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. I think that we have to be, you know, I would say mindful of 2 things. The backgrounds of the people who enter into hospitality and tourism is one. Obviously, those who go into the kind of vocational, you know, aspect of the hospitality and tourism, and those who go into the degree, you know, aspect of the hospitality and tourism. For those who go into the degree, like Kojo and Co, who had been to KNUST, UCC, obviously, you know, in recent times, Legon, majority of them aren't coming to the industry. Why? Because in terms of economic status, a lot of them, their families are a little bit well-to-do. They actually prefer other areas other than, you know, the tourism industry, because our hospitality industry, because they see it as a low-paid area. You know, when you look at the various sectors of the economy, and mind you, first degree is first degree. Look, you can have a first degree in anything. You can still work in a bank. You can have a first degree in anything. You can still work in telecommunication. And so most of them that have families whose, you know, economic statuses are a little bit above, you know, the kind of people who actually enter the hospitality, they don't come to the field. Now, those who go into the vocational or who move in through the vocational angle of the hospitality, majority of them have a very poor, you know, background in terms of the economic backgrounds of their families. And I'm not surprised that 200 Ghana cedis they can't pay, because a lot of them are coming from backgrounds that are very, very low in terms of the economic scale. And that's where you need government intervention. You know, that's where you need, you know, government intervention to say, okay, I'm teaming up, or maybe the Ghana Tourism Authority or, you know, whatever association says, okay, let's team up with Amanda. Amanda, can you provide training for hot cut-based students or students in that particular area, and government will pay you for the service? Because majority of these people are coming from a very low-paid family backgrounds. In fact, a lot of them do not even have a mother or father taking care of them. Some of them are actually under the benevolence of some people who can actually pay their, you know, maybe, you know, transport in the morning, or they give them some kind of chop money in the morning, and they expect them to use some for whatever trips they do. They're staying with their uncles, they're staying with their sister, that kind of background. All right. So it would be difficult for you to expect these people to pay, those amounts of money unless there's a government intervention. And that's one. Now, on the other side, and I loved it when Eugene actually shared the blame. Now, in terms of the academia, you would have to understand how academia works. If, for example, my students who are actually into tourism marketing come into your premises and come into work as a salesperson, all right, they've got to understand a la carte, of course, so that when they're selling, they will be able to, but that's not what they did. All right, they did tourism marketing. I do not have space to teach everything hospitality in there. All right. So the curricula will be very much skewed towards a particular angle. Now, it is the responsibility of the outfit to offer what we call orientation training. And that's why in the UK, for example, most companies offer minimum 3 months training. All right. I work with T-Mobile, I work with DSGI, I work with Vodafone. Each of these companies that I worked for, minimum 3 months. Even between T-Mobile and Vodafone, they had similar, systems, CRM systems. Yet I got 3 months training, fully booked hotel. You sleep there, you wake up in the morning, you get to the training session. They have, as Rosalind was talking about, they have the systems, live systems set up. By the time you get out of the training, you're fully equipped, on the ground, ready to go. Our business people would expect to recruit a fresh student from KNUST and give them a target and think that you have to get on the ground and run immediately. That's not how it works. Pedagogy is such that we train you to be flexible so that when you are given the hands-on training, you can really pick up and go. But you can't have, the academic institutions practically having a hotel in the campus to teach people practical. It won't work. What about engineering? Can we have engineering? Those who are into maybe aviation engineering, can we have a plant there? We can't have all those. We will not have space for the campuses to hold. That's why there are some kind of schemes, for example, internship, for example, national service, for example, orientation when the person is actually employed. Yet you have most of these firms or hospitality or tourism not even taking the student on internship. We go there, sometimes we're looking for spaces for students we can't get. Sometimes you're even looking for data to teach the student on certain things. They can't even have you that. We have to have a shared blame. This country sometimes I feel is not ready. Absolutely not ready. Because none of us is prepared to actually help the young people, yet we expect them to get on the ground running. So we have to share the blame, and we have to find other ways to help these students, to get the grounds growing. Because that training initially when the student is actually recruited is very, very important. 3 months training, even if you can't find 3 months, can you find a month intensive training? But they don't do it. They expect them to start working. It can't be like that. And remember, the young people these days aren't very adventurous as our time. Obviously it's not their fault. The world is now becoming too dangerous, and so people do not want their kids to wander about as we used to do. So we've got to find a way to help these young people come around. That's my contribution. You're on mute.
All right. I like what you said, Dr. Kobe, but the thing is, I think this discussion is like, it happened just last week as well, and we got to this point, and it was like we didn't have time anymore, and now it's getting more interesting. We don't have much time, but I'll come back to exactly what you said. We have Wilma on the on here who would like to share her thoughts about the discussion going on, and we can just go over like 10 minutes and we'll dash out of here. So Wilma, you can unmute yourself.
Hi everyone. Okay, I'm not sure I'm looking okay enough to be in this, but okay. So are we having a frank talk here? Because if we are, there are things that we need to look at. I think we've had a really extensive chat over the months, and at the moment, I mean, I'm listening into everything, and I wanted to make a couple of points. I think that in terms of having the internships, there's a history to everything. We are where we are at the moment because things have happened in the past. Several things have happened in the past to get us where we are. So in terms on the subject of internships, I'm not sure if that's a real problem because I think most of the properties take people on, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But listen, would I go through an internship with any of these hotels at the moment? I won't, because someone talked about orientation, okay? Look, we don't have a good hotel school. That's one problem. But if we had an academy system in most of the hotels where there's proper orientation, where they're learning on the job, right? If you put people on an internship program in a hotel, that's not even training their F&B staff on basic makeup of alcohol or things like have daily, weekly, monthly, yearly trainings. Listen, what are they learning there? I mean, it's a much bigger problem because we are really, really at the bottom of the ladder now. Even when things were more interesting, I had a lot of colleagues who just left the industry anyway because it wasn't as interesting enough for them. And now it's even worse. Tell me why anyone should want to be working in a hotel now. I think we need to honestly answer that question ourselves before we can be upbeat about how we can get people to come back into the industry or to attract very new talent into the industry. Because it's not, I mean, if we're going to have a frank conversation, if you're a manager now working in a hotel and you get an intern there now, what are you teaching the intern? What's the intern doing? By the time the intern leaves the place, do they really want to be there? Or do they just want a job because they want to take money home? So, I mean, as we all said, it's a much bigger problem. And the people coming out of school, I think we also overestimate how much exposure these people need. I think, Amanda, you know, when we did this 5-star program, where we just basically took people out of university or like an HND program and put them through this 10-day, it's not a training, it was like a debate, a training, fun things, going through, you know, but just had cameras on them. I mean, every single one of those 15 people now is doing so great. They didn't need much. They just hadn't slept in a hotel before. They probably just hadn't done photo shoots before. I think we overestimate how much we need to just make somebody confident. You know, that really is another thing. But the bigger problem is our hands are tied. And I think I've had this conversation with Rosalind. Our hands are tied because look at all of us here. We're kind of passionate. We've been there, done it. We want to give back. We've lost money, Amanda and I. We've lost so much money. We've done all of this. The people who have the key stakeholders, who are the key stakeholders here? Maybe the key hotels, or the people in government, because they have the resources or they have the endorsements or whatever it is we can call it. Are they ready to play ball? It's a frank conversation. I mean, talking about what the people are doing, if they're not, there is that aspect of it where people are not willing to lift a finger because they are not excited. Look at how we were trained or how people were trained when they started working in hotels in Ghana from like the past 15 years. How many of these franchise hotels, and this is where I say I never worked with them. I chose not to because I wanted to grow. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be handed a handbook on how to do sales for Golden Tulip Holland in Accra. No, I want to be able to grow by using my brain. And so, you know, yes, I like what you said, Daphne, on being hungry enough, and that's what it is. But seriously, can we say that the people who work in hotels in Ghana as a Ghanaian coming into the hotels are given space to be empowered enough to put across their opinion, to do all those things? No, that's not how they were trained. So we can't expect that. And really, the second part of it is, how are we even going to grow a general manager when all the people who come at the top are expatriates? There's nothing that says an expatriate comes in with a deputy that's Ghanaian so that we can grow. Can you imagine how much talent we would have grown from like 10 years ago? No. I mean, this conversation will just go round and round in circles unless, and I actually want to be on record with this because I'm tired, frankly, you know, and it's sad because it's only going to take a little to boost people's confidence and to get them, you know, to come in. Why is it that the companies go to HR managers and say, I want somebody at my reception? Go to Hotel A, there's Amanda at the reception. Can you try and poach her? There's something great with it. There's something great with hospitality. And so how do we stop talking so much? And how do we move forward? Basically, I mean, Eugene, you just got a new job. So I'm going to hold you now. I'm sorry, but you are in a position, you know, you are in management. So if you have some interns working with you, I would like to see what you're doing for them, what programs you're running for them, how you're empowering them to talk like they also have a brain, basically. I don't know if you guys get where I'm headed, but I think it's a bigger conversation. And that's why I asked, if we are having a frank conversation, then let's have a frank conversation. I think I'm done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Wilma. Yes, I think one thing I can say at the end of this then is let's put actions to the talk by all of the players coming together and feeling there is a need for us to develop our tourism and hospitality industry. Hospitality Professionals Network Ghana, we can't do it alone. We need the academia to partner with us. We need the government institution, the policy makers to partner with us. Those who have the money, we need them to partner with us so we can also bring our expertise on board and really help modify and change the narrative within the industry. Dr. Kobe, did you say something?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking to my TA.
Okay. So we need all of us to come together and really make this happen. I am so sorry we are way over time, and some Eugene, you wanted to share something. You can go ahead.
Yeah,
briefly.
Yes,
sure.
briefly. I wanted to say, Wilma, yeah, you got me there. But you know, when they come on attachment, or when an intern comes into a facility, I do not draw the program, right? But what I do with the institution, like the institution I go to train, I have a laid down program like that I take them through for 3 weeks. And mostly by the time we finish the 3 weeks, they have something to hold on to. You know, well, let me not talk too much about the HRs. So I'll just leave it here.
Yeah, Thank you so much, Eugene. Nana just sends me a message that, hey, I'm in the industry and I want to say something. Nana, I'm giving you just 2 minutes to share your point. Thank you. You can go ahead.
Thank you very much. I have a whole lot, but look as you're not giving me the opportunity. I want to speak for the hotels because I'm one of them. One of the things we have with the problem with the students is that in this part of our world, people don't do volunteerism. They don't want to sacrifice. Look, in the university, you are being guided. It's just there to guide you. The rest, when you come to the field, you have to find your way out. Now, one of the challenges we do face is that anytime they come up from the university, they don't want to start from the scratch. You don't know anything about the hotel industry, even the budget hotels, how they are even run. And you just want to go 5-star hotels. Even their internship, when the budget hotels want to even give them the opportunity where they have that free will to do their own, what they've learned in school, practice it. They don't want it. Everybody wants to be in a 5-star hotel or 3-star or the upmarket hotels. So in view of that, how many upmarket hotels do we have in this country? So definitely, you don't expect them to take all the ones that comes out. Again, one of the things I want to say is that in this country, on this industry that we find ourselves, self-education is very, very important. During our days when we're learning, we never had an internet. By the grace of God, today the internet is there. So some of the things that you learn in the classroom, you can complement it with what you can complement it on the internet. And doing this blame game, the courses that the lecturers are not teaching well and other things. Look, let me say that the hotels are ready to partner with the universities. If you come with the right program, we sit down, we judge all. I believe the hotels will be open so that anybody that wants to do any intern can be done easily. I think we should stop this blame game because if you want to blame your lecturers, I'm talking to the student. You want to blame your lecturer that your lecturers are not giving you some of the lectures you do not have practical knowledge and other things. Hey, they will not even get there. Look, this one goes to the students. I beg you guys. This is an industry that we just found ourselves. It has been there for a long time, but you see, it's developing, it's dynamic. Whatever that you learn in the classroom, sometimes when you come on vacation, you can even walk into a hotel, write a letter and tell them that I want to come and serve here for free. Look, I mentor a guy at one of these polytechnics. He was struggling. I said, look, go start with the budget hotel. This year, start with the budget hotel. The next semester, start with the 1-star hotel. Another semester, and by the time the 4 years, he has been able to go through the system and he knew what was going on in the system. He knew the books, he knew the software and everything. So such a person, when he came out from the university, in fact, connecting him to a hotel was easy because the guy knew his way about. But you see, when you will not do anything and you want everything, I want to be spoon-feed, then we will not get anywhere. We have challenges. I bet you sometimes when they come from the schools and we interview them, so we ask ourselves whether they truly went to the school. Basic things, the fundamentals, even the theory, they don't even have it, let alone to come to the practicality. I think the time is up. I think this conversation should still be ongoing. And like I said, the hotels are prepared to work. But you see, the guys should not be thinking of the upmarket hotels. With that one, they will have a lot of challenges. Go through the mill, work very hard. And when you become a seasoned person, the hotels will run after you. Thank you very much. And let me talk about this network thing. Look, when you go to programs, people that contribute, people that ask relevant questions, students get associated with them. One of the things that we suffer in this country is with our children's timidity. And when you go and you ask the people the right questions, the people will be ready to give you whatever you need. Then they know that this person is prepared to learn. So whatever I've deposited in me, I can bring it out. So once again, thanks for this opportunity, and let this discussion go on. And
thank you so much.
all is not lost. All is not lost. All is not lost.
Thank you so much, Kojo. Our time is really up, and I thank you for your contribution. Like you rightly said, I feel this conversation will happen again. It's the same what happened with the part one, and we are here today. We may call this again, I don't know yet, but we will revisit this. I'm very happy to see Dr. Edward Aka on our webinar. He's the president of the Hoteliers Association, the Hotels Association, and I'm sure he's listening in. I will get in touch with you when we are done. I'm looking forward to meet you. But
I wish Doctor could say something.
Doctor,
yes.
Are you there to like say some closing words for us? If you are there and you can do that, that's great. But if not, where you are, you can't say anything to. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, hi, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I decided to listen carefully to everything and not really comment. But since you've alerted me, let me just say that this is a wonderful conversation that we need to continue, because there's so much going on in the industry which seems to be I think we haven't really explored a lot about the industry, and if we continue to have such programs, there's a lot that can be said to move the industry forward. So let me just leave it here. Another time, given the opportunity, we'll say more. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I'm looking forward to meeting you. I have been saying this forever, but when I come back home, I'm coming straight to you, because I feel our association, HPNG, and your outfits can do something together. We are at the end of our program, and I'm going to call on my beautiful, insightful speakers to share, like in few seconds, their pattern words with you, and look out for us. Maybe we will have a part 3. I'm not promising, but I think there's so many questions over there that we didn't answer. And if you want to get in touch with any of the speakers, please, I have put in an email, ceo@hpnghana.com. Email me. It's actually .org. I'll correct it. Email me and I will share their details with you if you want that as well. So we will go from Daphne, we'll come to Amanda, then we'll go to Eugene, and Dr. Kobe will say the last parting words. Thank you.
It's been an awesome pleasure. I'm new in Ghana. I've been in Ghana for 3 months and I'm having a wonderful time. So to be part of this conversation is exciting. It's actually a dream come true. I am available to be in your classrooms. So facilitators, university leaders, teachers, whoever, call on me. I'm happy to come share some nuggets with your students and give them some encouragements that, you know, there is hope for the industry. 2022 is showing some characteristics of normalcy. And so things will turn around and the industry is going to be rich again. If you were around in 2002, you saw that there was recovery after 2001's 9/11 with the US. Same with the 2008 recession, the industry bounced back. It will bounce back again. Our industry is going to be lucrative. It always has been. And so don't lose hope, have faith. We're stronger together. Let's have synergy. Let's work together. And I'm here to serve you. So call on me if you need me to be in your classrooms to motivate you one way or another. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Amanda.
Okay. So same as Daphne said, I'm available. My passion is hospitality, and that's what I've known for 30 years. So moving to Ghana was to come and give back. But we need to start from somewhere. So really, I'm here for everybody, coaching, guiding, interviewing, interview process, CV writings, anything that you need that you think would help you to move forward, please contact me and I'll be happy to help you.
Fantastic. My speakers are so generous. Contact them. And like I said, if you want to be in touch with any of the speakers, email ceo@hpnghana.org. I have put in it in the chat. Then you can ask for any of them that you need their contacts. Eugene.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. Just like our ladies already mentioned, I mean, we are always available to help impact whatever practical or knowledge that's got to do with the hospitality industry. That means we need to catch up before you leave Ghana finally. Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Amanda. Sorry, Rosa.
Welcome. Thank you so much. And Dr. Kobe.
All right, guys. I mean, I'm excited about what you're doing. I always say that my number one priority is my students. And if you find any students come to you, please assist them. A lot of them do not know what to do. A lot of them do not have the backgrounds that perhaps we had. And so any way that you can help, please try and do that. We'll be happy someday knowing that they're doing quite well through us. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I thank you all, the head of institutions that you have represented here. I see Dr. Hagan here. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Edward Aka. And thank you to all the HPNG members and students and everyone who attended. Thank you for availing yourself. If there should be a part 3, what I require of you who are here now is to make sure you bring in about 3 people, so that we can have a decent conversation. Basically, I'm putting up my notes. When this is done, we're going to put actions to where we need to start working, because it's not just going to be a talk, but what you need to do for yourself, like if you're a student, creating your CV, creating your CV, going on LinkedIn, reaching out to people to mentor you, availing yourself for internship, whether paid or not paid internship, availing yourself. That you have to do that. We can do it for you. You have to do that. And whatever we can do to support you, we will avail ourselves to support you. Sorry if I couldn't ask your questions for the speakers to address it or give you the opportunity to speak, but get in touch with us. We will be able to do something together. Thank you so much and have a very good evening. Bye.